Good morning, my wonderful viewers. My name is Brent L. Delmo. We are going to be discussing the different common physical unintentional injuries or accidents. Note that these injuries are not meant to happen, but they are curable. On top of that, I will be going to explain ways on how to cure them by means of applying the basic first aid. Without further ado, let's begin. The first injury we'll be discussing is the strain. A strain is the stretching or tearing of muscle or tendon. A tendon is a fibrous cord of tissue that connects muscles to bones. It often occurs at the lower back and the hamstring muscle at the back of the thigh. It is caused by improperly lifting heavy objects or overstressing the muscles. What are the different ways on how it can be cured? I introduce to you the RICE method. The first is to rest for an easier cure. Next is to immobilize for stillness and safety. The third is to compress it with a cold sensation for about 15 to 20 minutes. And the last is to elevate it to avoid further swelling or damage. The next unintentional injury we'll be discussing is the fracture. We all know that a fracture is a broken bone that is very painful and it needs medical attention immediately. But what are the steps in curing a fractured bone? The first is to immobilize or keep the injured area still. Never try to realign or push because this can cause so much more pain. And next is to apply a splint or cast to the area above and below the fractured areas. Next is to stop any bleeding by means of adding pressure by wrapping it around with a clean cloth or bandage. And lastly, apply an ice pack on it for 10 to 15 minutes every 1 to 2 hours. The last unintentional injury I will be discussing is the bleeding of lips. Bleeding can sometimes come from cuts, wounds, or bruises, but we have to take note of the extent of the bleeding, whether it is small or severe. To cure bleeding, first is to apply direct pressure on the bleeding area. The second is to place a sterile dressing or cloth and secure it with tape or tie just tight enough to stop the bleeding. Elevate the injured bleeding limb above the level of the heart, and after that, don't move or struggle until a splint or cast has been applied. There we have the different unintentional physical injuries and ways on how to apply first aid to them. That wraps up my video presentation. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Thank you for watching. I wish you to stay safe and goodbye.